And then lastly, for farmable monsters is the water werewolf. I believe he is farmable. Actually, I don't think he is. Whoops. Hey everybody, so we're back. We're on the Farmer Phil account, and it's right here. You see the challenge that just popped up? Alright, you know what that means. The race has begun. Okay, wait, why is it on hard? Oh, well, I was on hard difficulty on my other account. So we just unlocked Trial of Ascension. It unlocks at level 15. So that means we are ready. Remember, this account is only farmables. We went ahead and farmed the Ramagos, the Wind Warbear, who's going to be very, very useful to us. We also got the Fire Imp. We're getting ready for fusion recipes that we're going to be making. You know, we've got a couple extra here. We actually got an extra Water Grim Reaper. So we've got a lot of monsters. If you check this out, we actually got some crystal rewards too. A lot of these crystal rewards are insane, so we're going to be making good use of those. Like, look at this, 300 here, 150 there, like, Jesus. And we've also got a lot of mana for my level, at least. 264,000 at level 15. That's not bad at all. I'm going to wait till I get a little bit better runes, and then I'll start upgrading these babies a little bit more. I've been farming giants, I think giants B4 already. So I'll show you how to go from Giants B4 to Giants B7. It's actually, it takes a while. It'll probably take me a week or so to get to Giants B7 to start autoing that. But it's seriously, I'll show you guys soon that more than a week for Giants B7, but consistent runs at Giants B5-ish. It'll take me about a couple weeks. I just need to get these guys awakened and leveled up, and then I'll show you that. So we're going to go ahead and head into Trial of Ascension here soon. Let's check the runes that we've got so far. So right now we're just running different sets just to complete the sets. Let's see which ones aren't runed. These are all runed. Okay, so this one's not runed. So we're going to go ahead and put on some runes. This one's a crap rune, but we just need to complete the set. Same with this one. This one's an okay rune, but there could be better, like that one. I like this one. Let's overwrite that. Alright, we need one more rune for that. Alright, what else do we got? Ooh, I like this one. It's a 4-star. And then this one's a 1-star, so we're going to go ahead and sell that. This is a 3-star, so we're going to go ahead and overwrite that one. Now we need 2 more Swift runes that we need to get from Giants. He's not even awakened yet, so he's not really useful, but he will be once we awaken him, and we're going to go ahead and lock him. For you low levels that are playing along with me, make sure you lock all of your useful monsters. I'm also going to be making a short guide on every farmable monster that could be of use to you when you start out. If you look at right now, every monster that I have right now that's a gold star, okay, I'll point them out. This one's useful. This is the Wind Warbear. Wind Yeti, very useful. I've got 3 of them now. I'm preparing skill ups for him. He's going to be my main healer until I can get Belladon. I've got the Wind Pixie, very useful. Wind Elemental, very useful for Giants B10 if you're making farmable team, which I am. She's okay. I'm actually going to not build her yet. So I've got Shannon already 3-starred, but we're going to be feeding her to level that up. Warbear, Water Warbear, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. It's also farmable, but I just don't need it. A Grim Reaper, that's for dots. I'll probably be using him. Garuda, very useful. That Light Vagabond, you guys probably won't be able to get it until later in the game, but it is farmable, very useful. And all of these monsters are obtainable by all of you guys, so they're all useful. This one, I need to get better runes, because if I awaken him, he's going to be very useful for me. He'll be my AoE defense breaker. Yeah, 90% chance, that's not bad at all. I think we can go ahead and go into Trial of Ascension, see how far we can get. So I'm going to go ahead and use the only leader skill that I have, which is the Resistance. I have this one, but don't have many fire monsters. We're going to go ahead and use our main monsters. I think I'm going to go ahead and use a Garuda. I need to get him awakened so that I can get that revive skill, and then I need to get my Yeti built up so I can get healers. Right now, I don't have any healers. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video because it's just kind of straight through and through. So bear with me, but alright. Okay, so far we've done the 2 levels. We'll probably make it to the 3rd one in a few, but I think that's good for now. My monsters were starting to take some damage on that 2nd stage, so I think I'm going to leave it at that. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I definitely want to take a look at some of these monsters that I'm going to be building, and I'll tell you guys a little bit of my game plan so you kind of understand what's going on and what I'm kind of thinking here. So basically I'll go through which monsters that I plan on fusing or making immediately and trying to get. So my first thoughts right now, I'm going to go through my 3 stars and 2-star monsters. I'm going to get all of them up to 4-star as fast as possible. So right now my fairy, not that big of a priority, but the Garuda, I definitely want to make this light Garuda a 4-star. So we're going to go ahead and evolve this. We're going to use those monsters. The Wind High Elemental, not that big of a deal to fodder away. Then the Dark Epicure Priest, we can go ahead and fodder away because it's not farmable. And then we had a Rainbow Mon that we got from a dungeon drop. Alright, so now we look at these other monsters. We got a lot of 2-star fodder. We're going to go ahead and fodder this Pixie to Shannon to skill her up. That's always good to get some skill ups. So I think that went to the 1st skill, which is not what we wanted. No. We want to get the 2nd skill maxed out, and then once we awaken her, we'll get this 3rd skill maxed out. So this is basically going to be our Spectra. The Fire Griffin is actually not farmable, believe it or not, so I guess we can't use that. That's okay, because we will be using the Wind Pixie, which is actually not that bad. I think it's actually good, actually better in some cases. Now after we have all of the monsters awakened, so I need to get Kodamaya awakened, the Light Garuda awakened, and then I need to get Shannon awakened, and then I'll focus on getting these other ones awakened. They're not as important, but it's mainly just this Light Garuda and then the Light Pixie, or sorry, Wind Pixie, and then the Wind Yeti. These 3 we definitely need to get awakened as fast as possible, and that's because they have the best skill sets when you awaken them. So this one basically gives you a really good heal for beginner level players. This one will give you a really good defense buff and attack buff, which is very, very crucial, especially in Trial of Ascension. And then this one gives you your very first revive. So yes, this Light Garuda is actually your very first revive monster, but you need to awaken it. Now, I'm going to go through some of the other monsters that are farmable that I plan on making, just so you guys have an idea. I plan on making the Fire Inugami. He's going to be my farmer. I'm probably going to have to make him very good. He's going to be a temporary farmer until I can get the Wind Living Armor. I'm pretty sure that's farmable. If it's not, then fresh out of luck. Let's see here. I'll probably eventually make the High Elemental. She's got a very good buff that when you awaken her, the God of Fire skill. Let's go through here. What else do we got? And then, of course, the only fusible fire monster that is actually worth using is Beretta, the Fire Sylph. Very, very, very good, and will be our only leader skill for the game, believe it or not. I think that is actually the only leader skill for farmable monsters that would actually be worth using, since it's a general leader skill. So that'll be the only 4-star monster we'll be using. Maybe we'll build the Succubus later down the road. It's got some HP disturb, or heal block I call it. But I think there's actually a better monster for that, which is actually the Harpoo right here. This is actually a very good monster. I'll be building that one as well. Moving over to the water monsters, we've actually got quite a few water monsters, since a lot of them actually apply some heals. We're going to be building the Water Hellhound. This one actually has a really good skill set, and it is actually pretty fast with a base speed of 114. We'll be building that later down the road. We'll be building the Water Garuda, who actually can cleanse, so this will be our temporary cleanser until we can build up Veramos, the Dark Ifrit. We will also be building up a Water Golem if we can farm one. This is actually a Phaemon Hell Farmer if you can get him really good runes, defense, crit damage, defense. He can actually farm Phaemon in a pretty decent amount of time with very, very good consistency, since it is a defense-based monster. We will also be farming the Water Inferno if there is, I'm pretty sure there's an SD for him. So SD stands for Secret Dungeon, in case you guys are new to this game. He has a very, very good boost here. It increases the attack bars by 50% and then increases the critical rate. Very good monster if you know how to use him. And then he also gets this stun if it lands as a critical hit, and it gets a 50% critical rate bonus. And then lastly, for the water farmable monsters, we've already got the Water Grin Reaper. Very good monster for applying the continuous damage effects, as well as Beretta, the fire sylph. So we're going to be treating TOA kind of like hard mode TOA, since we're only using farmable monsters, so this will be very interesting. Moving over to the wind monsters, right off the bat I see the two monsters that I really need right now. I've already got them. The Wind Pixie and then the Wind Yeti. This one applies very good debuffs and buffs. Very useful monster, just has really low base stats, so we want to build her up as much as possible so she won't be as easy to kill. Then the Wind Yeti has a really good heal when you awaken him. It'll be our only healer until we can get the Light Inagami. Then we've also farmed the Wind Warbear, who's pretty much a solo tank who deals the amount of damage that he's lost. So you just build him with a ton of health, and then he loses a bunch of health, and then you deal that damage out. Very useful for arena, and I think it's going to help us solo some of those TOA stages. Then we've got the Wind Elemental. We're going to be using him to farm Giants B10, since he applies continuous damage on almost every single one of his skills. I think this is the only one that doesn't apply the continuous damage, and that's because it buffs himself, the attack power and critical rate, and then it increases attack bar by 50%. So this is a good monster, very, very underrated. We're definitely going to be using him for Giants B10. As soon as possible, we're going to try to get the Wind Griffin. This is actually our pretty much go-to monster to replace Vertihil in increasing the attack speed and attack bars of the allies. This helps you get in more turns more often. It's just an overall great monster. Attack, debuff, and defense break. Very good skill, and it has a good base speed that we'll be using. So we're going to be building up this Griffin as soon as we get it. And lastly, the Wind Living Armor. I'm actually not sure if this is farmable, since I have not unlocked all of the scenario mode stages, and I'm actually haven't checked on my main account. I'm not sure if he's farmable. It would be nice to think that he's farmable. If he's not, then we won't be able to use him, but he is a very good monster, so if you guys get him, I highly suggest building him. Very, very good farmer, and I think he's really easy to get from summoning scrolls. Now, some of the fusible monsters that we will be using include Veramos, the Dark Ifrit. We won't be able to get him for a while, but he is fusible. One of the monsters, actually two of the monsters that you need to get him aren't obtainable through farming, so you will have to summon for them, but they're 3 stars, so I don't think it's as big of a deal. Those monsters include the Fire Beast Hunter, this guy right here, and the Wind Lizard Man right here. So these guys are not farmable. There were secret dungeons for them, so technically they were farmable, but those are temporary, so now you have to summon scrolls for them. So basically the way I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to be building up my tanky team with a bunch of healers and a bunch of buff monsters to basically help my team stay alive, and that way I can move my way up in Kairos dungeons to farm better runes. And then I will be focusing more on building up monsters that can deal damage, like Saïk and the Fire Inferno, and etc, etc. One last thing before I head out, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm going to be building every single possible monster that I think is worth using for farmable monsters. So if you think a monster is worth using, definitely leave it in the comment section below so I can, take a look at their skill sets. But I'm going to be trying to build up every single farmable monster that I think is worth it. It's going to take some time, but you'll definitely see it build up, and I'm going to be trying to speed up my alt account to catch up to my main account. It'll take a long ass time to do that, but I'm going to be trying to get as many farmable units with good runes in as short time as possible. So I'm going to be farming on this thing like crazy, so just stay tuned for that, and I will show you guys how to get past the little level gap. And I mentioned this in my previous video, and I guess a lot of people didn't understand what I meant. So basically the level gap is when you go through Giants, you get to about where I am, Giants B4, and you farm runes, and you don't really get that many good runes. You get a bunch of 4-star runes, right? So you end up getting 4-star runes like that, and that's actually not enough to farm Giants B5 or B6. 4-star runes really aren't that good. So once you start getting to like B5 and B6, it's not enough, but you can only really get 4-star runes from Giants B4. So how do you get the right runes where you can kind of jump that gap to start farming Giants B5 and Giants B6? Well, the secret lies in your monster's level, okay? That's the secret, and I will try to show you guys that a little bit more. You really want to get your monsters up to 5-star. I'm going to be making my first 5-star here soon, which is actually going to be Lapis, the water magic knight. I'm going to be using a few of these as fodder. I'll probably use my water fairy as fodder. I don't think the water fairy is all that good. It has 2-turn sleep, which is nice, but the heal is not really useful to me once I get that Wind Yeti built up, and then once I have a revive, I will really have no use for her. I'm also going to be building up a few of these other monsters to fodder for the Lapis, and once I do that, you're going to start making up 5 stars. Just keep making 5 stars or 4-star monsters and try to get all your monsters max leveled and awakened, and then you'll notice a huge boost in their main stats, and that's basically how you make it to Giants B5. Now, if you don't have the monsters to farm Giants B5, try to skip to B6. Just keep leveling up your monsters and just keep trying to get those runes. Eventually, they'll drop some good runes, and you won't have to worry about it as much. Now, the secret to Giants B7, trying to beat it, they really do take a toll on your monsters because he applies an attack speed decrease. So that's why it's good to build up the Water Garuda, which is what I'm doing, and awaken him so they can remove it. And then you're going to want other monsters that can actually just pretty much lay waste onto him. So it's going to end up being something like this, but I'm probably going to throw in a Wind Yeti there, or like throw in Shannon like that, and then use this as my main attacker. So yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'll show you guys once I reach that stage. I'm actually only farming around B4 right now. I need to get it to 100% consistency. It's not 100%, but I can do it. And then once I finish those runes up, I should be able to, farm B5 once I get my other monsters awakened and these guys leveled up to at least max level 3-star. But we'll see how that goes. Alright guys, well I hope you guys see how much progress my account is making. I mean, I'm already level 15. I've got, over 250,000 mana I'm going to be using on runes to upgrade them to a +9, and I'm going to be farming a shit ton of runes. So you're going to see here pretty quickly that I'm actually making a lot of progress, and it's not as hard as people make it out to be. Being a low level is actually really easy. It gets harder when you get into like the high 30s, when you actually start having to make, better teams for better stages in the Giants and Dragons levels, because those get pretty tough if you don't have the right monsters, and that's going to be tough for me because I'm only using Farmables, which is totally okay, but that's besides the point. Alright guys, well this is just kind of an update. If you guys have any questions, just leave in the comment section below. I will answer them, believe me. Alright guys, on that note, I will see you all later, and if you guys have any ideas of which farmable monsters you guys would like to see me build, definitely give me a heads up in the comment section, because I really want to hear it. But double check that it's farmable, because if it's not farmable, like say you give me one like, oh, I want to see you, build the Fire Mystic Witch. Well, that's not farmable, so I will not build it if it is not farmable, okay? Even if it's a 3-star. Alright guys, I will see you next time, and stay tuned for Tuesday summons, because that one's going to be a good one. Alright guys, see you later.